Ever since this Fujinon MK zoom lens came out, we've been getting a lot of questions here about why you would want a Parfocal zoom lens versus, say, a Varifocal zoom lens. And if you're a filmmaker or a video producer, you've probably been using a lot of EF or Varifocal glass, and you're wondering, why would I step up to something like this? So I have Brian Young, our product manager here for video department, to talk about why you would want a Parfocal zoom lens.
I think the name Varifocal actually gives away what the biggest problem with these lenses is that as soon as you zoom the lens, you're varying the focus, hence the name. So any amount of reframing is going to change the focus, and so you're going to have to focus. But that's, again, these lenses were designed for photography, and that was a multi-step process where basically you zoomed in on your subject, got a loose framing, then focused it up, then pressed the shutter. In television or video or cinema, we want to be able to actually use the focus as part of the creative process. So we want to do things like pull focus to reveal a different subject, things like that. So we want that focus change to be live on air, you know, and to have that travel and be able to do that, having a Parfocal is absolutely critical. And what the main difference is that with a Parfocal, I could zoom all the way in, focus up on my subject, and then as I zoom out wider, I'm going to now maintain that focus. And so I can reframe the subject however I want. With, again, a Varifocal, I could zoom all the way in, focus up, and then as soon as I start to zoom out, my focus is going to drift all over the place. It's very apparent. The other big difference between a Parfocal and a Varifocal lens is you're going to see something exhibited called breathing. And what breathing is basically, again, as you're adjusting the focus, what's actually happening to the image. And what you'll see in a Varifocal lens is you'll actually see the image size breathe. So it will, as you go focus in and out, you'll see the image size grow and shrink. It's very jarring to the viewer. So in a Parfocal, that's going to be absolutely minimized. And that's why some people call them near Parfocals, because it's not a 100% perfect science, but it's very, very close. So very minimized breathing, virtually unnoticeable.
And I think it's worth mentioning that there's really no such thing as bad glass. I mean, this is incredibly good glass. It's really, really renowned for being excellent, but excellent at what it was designed to do, and that is as a photo glass. It was never designed, the housing, the mechanics were never designed with cinema or motion in mind. And I think it was when EF mounts became available that suddenly people said, oh, I could use this, right?
I mean, that's, I think, one of the things that actually shocked the industry is that the DSLR revolution caught a lot of people off guard because they just never believed that people could get away with using this glass. It was really, you know, so I think that was, you know, one of the big shockers. So it's certainly one of the things that's been, you know, dramatically lacking in the industry. And, you know, certainly when we did the video on the introduction video that we did on this lens, you know, we talked about that this is really the harbinger of the next wave. And that this is really the revolution that's just now started, that we're going to see Parfocal affordable glass coming more and more. And certainly this glass is, you know, probably 10% of the cost of what a comparable zoom lens would have been for a Super 35 camera previously.
Awesome. Well, I hope everyone got a good sense of why you would want a Parfocal glass. And now with the MK coming out, it's now suddenly affordable, and it's a big deal. And it's time, I think, for a lot of people who've been using this to sort of step up their game and try a lens like this. And I think that they'll realize how much of a difference it makes in their productions and in their just ability to get the shots they need to get. So thank you so much for taking the time, and thank you so much for watching. Happy shooting.